Hiya, Honest Discussioner here. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever had this pesky desire to live and you wanted to get rid of it? Well, I have the cure for you, and that is this movie, Late One Night.
Well, what are you then? A Christian?
There are a lot of people out there who know the facts about Jesus, but they ain't going to heaven when they die.
An intense drama about the most important issue in life and eternity.
Why are all those Christians down at the factory fakes, man?
Everybody in the world is born a sinner. And because of that, they're spiritually dead.
Well, you know, Riley was telling me today that Jesus is coming back.
Since this is such a big deal to you, then why don't you go out there on the street and keep all those people from going to hell?
Am I gonna go to hell when I die?
Late One Night.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. This movie is 33 minutes of excruciating torture. Even if you remove all of the Christian elements from it, just the writing, the storytelling, the way the plot develops is just incredibly bad. Not that I'm very surprised. Basically, you saw the one guy yelling and screaming about whether or not he's going to go to hell. That was, of course, the atheist a-hole, who's portrayed as a major jerk and incredibly ignorant. I got this movie from my stepfather, who recommended it to me because I'm a heathen and need to be saved. And now the thing is, this movie was apparently for exactly that purpose, to give to your heathen family members and save their souls. But that's really not the answer here. That's not why this movie exists. This movie actually exists for Christians themselves, so that they get the idea in their heads that atheists are just like this guy, incredibly mean, incredibly a jerk, immoral, and also have had a very bad life, and that's why they're that way as well, and why they just can't possibly accept God into their hearts, unless some magical guy comes in to save them. He isn't really magical, but plot devices and that for him were awful. The one guy you saw talking about Jesus, how we're all born into sin. And also that atheists are very ignorant of what Christians believe. You saw the one guy saying, "Hey, Riley told me that Jesus is coming back," as though no one's ever heard of that before, unless they're a Christian that's studied for years on it. But it kind of just aggravated me watching this. I laughed and cried because of how bad it was. In pretty much all aspects, except the kitchen owner, the cook with the white beard. He was actually pretty cool. I think he's actually a regular actor, not just a Christian actor. He looks familiar. But beyond his performance, everything else about it pretty much just was terrible. And relatively immoral, too, I'd have to say, from the way they portrayed this, and just really lied. This is just basically religious garbage. Not that everything is religious garbage, and I'll get to that in a second, but my stepfather also gave me a couple other videos to watch, and I'm going to watch them because I'm not afraid of information. And it's almost enjoyable to have him give me these things that he thinks are so amazing and incredible, and watch them turn out to be such incredible crap and fail miserably. I knew this was going to fail. I was expecting it to. It exceeded my expectations greatly in that department, though. It failed. It made most epic fails look like masterpieces. The other two movies is The Perfect Stranger. I'll read the back here. Nikki Kaminsky is a successful attorney troubled by the fact that her life isn't perfect. One day, a mysterious invitation shows up on the desk that reads, "You were invited to a dinner with Jesus of Nazareth." Thinking it's a prank, she shows up, only to find herself in the middle of a whirlwind evening of debate and revelation, with the most unforgettable man she would ever meet. If this is, I'm guessing it's going to be along the lines of that other movie and how bad it was, and I'm sure everyone's going to recognize this one. Lee Strobel and the Case for Faith. Yes, I've heard of this. My grandmother actually gave me the Case for Easter pamphlet, and if this is anything like that, which I'm sure it is, it's going to be really bad. Looking forward to it. No, as I've said, there's a lot of religious garbage out there. There's a lot of religious garbage on YouTube, which is why I think it's so important that when we come across religious things that aren't garbage, we really need to pay attention to it. It's easy to debunk people like Gear Up and his ilk. But when an intelligent Christian comes along that isn't just all hellfire and brimstone and who has some decent points to make, I think it's important that we give that person a chance just to hear what they have to say. Because just because you're a Christian or a religious person obviously doesn't mean that you're completely irrational and don't have anything good to say. Wildcard's a perfect example of this. And the man that recommended this channel to me that I'm going to mention is also that way. The channel is called All Saints Monastery, and it's actually an elderly gentleman with a rockin' white beard, like down to here. I'm almost jealous of the beard. I would be if I was his age, I'm telling you. And he's actually the Archbishop of the Canadian Orthodox Church. Now, Orthodoxy is nothing like Pentecostal or Baptist or Methodist. They're kind of like Catholics without all of the guilt, as far as I can tell. Sorry, Wildcard. He makes some excellent points. His discussions are frank. His tone is kind and straightforward, and he articulates his points very well. And most of the time, he's actually talking about how fundamentalists are wrong in pretty much everything they do. He even admitted that he understands why atheism is so prolific in this day and age, and he blames it mostly on fundamentalists. Now, of course, I don't agree with him on everything, but I think he's a very intelligent man, and I enjoy listening to his videos. I think he has an interesting perspective, and come on, when Gear Up and all of them talk about their interpretations of the Bible, you know that it is a little bit extreme, so it's good to get a little bit of sense from an actual religious person on the Bible. So I recommend his channel. I hope you take a look at it. Please be nice. He's not a bad guy in any way, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a nice day. Honest Discussioner.